What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider. I'm not able to go on my computer right now, but I did want to give you guys a post-game review from my perspective. Last week, I called the game the Band-Aid game because we were basically Band-Aiding or preventing, possible media distribution and basically putting a Band-Aid on a problem that is bigger than we thought. And I still meant what I said about last week being the Band-Aid game. But if this week is any indication, this week's game needs a title as well. I'm going to call it the Momentum. The Momentum or the Pride game. Because that's what we saw in this game. A lot of us are still confused by Josh McDaniel, his play calling, whether he's tanking, whether he's not. Is he a good coach? Is he not? Is Derek Carr always the problem? Is it Josh McDaniels? Is it Mark Davis? Is it the Raiders? Every year it's something. We all know what happened previous to this game. Last week was a Band-Aid. We got a victory. We saw the team exhale because the previous week, Derek Carr and everybody blew up and the emotions got the better of them and they finally showed that they were they were broke. They were broken. And the only way you can go from after showing the world that you're broken is to healing. And that's what they did last week. In overtime, getting a big victory with a walk-off to Davante Adams. It didn't fix any of the problems, but it let the team know it's okay to be broken. It's okay to show emotions and try to come together, and as Josh McDumbass would always say, learn how to win. People might think that they learned how to win last week. Again, from my perspective, no. They learned how to win this week. Under McDaniel's system and with what they got going. They learned how to win this week. Last week was the Band-Aid game to shut everybody up. And this week was the Pride game, the Momentum game. I still don't think we're going to the playoffs. So I don't approve of the Raider video makers out there, like Willie in particular. He's trying to be positive. I love the guy. But he's like, yeah, the Raiders have a playoff shot. We can go 10-6 or 10-7 and blah. Yeah. I love you, Willie, but I ain't there yet. Too much negativity as an old school Raider fan to start talking playoffs. I'm just fucking happy we got 2 victories in a row. Okay? I ain't going to start counting my eggs before they've been hatched. Whatever that saying is. But this was the Momentum, the Pride game. And during this whole game, again, there was a lot of confusing play calls, like on 2nd down, 3rd down, constantly running the ball with Josh Jacobs. I know he had a great day, but there were situations where the play calling shouldn't have been that. It should have been something different. Then we had 2 timeouts at the end with like a minute left, minute and 10, 15 seconds left. And basically they just run the ball and they go to overtime. When we could have tried to get a field goal to win the game. Again, that being said, we got the victory, so I'm not going to complain about all that stuff. Although it still is a glaring need with McDaniels learning how to be a head coach. And the defense, for what it's worth, they held up. Max Crosby's a beast. Our defense ain't the best. Perriman, whatever. We had 2 or 3 turnovers today that we got on defense. It was a great day all around. I'm just going to speak from the bigger picture. I'm not going to go into game details, with Derek Carr and the interceptions early and Josh Jacobs getting over 300 yards total scrimmage. I mean, he's a beast. We know it. Pay that man his money. McDaniels made a horrible decision not extending his 5th-year option. I know he's going to get a contract offer from the Raiders next year, but I don't think the Raiders have the money in the bank with Derek Carr unless he's released and Devontae. I don't know. But figure that shit out, motherfuckers. Because if Josh Jacobs gets away, which I think it is likely he will, if he gets away, yeah, that's really going to piss you off, McDumbass. All right, let's get back to the bigger picture of this week being the pride and momentum game. Josh McDaniels likes to say the Raiders need to learn how to win. All the players were saying we need more urgency. Players need to show up and play injured, do what they're supposed to do, that they don't have the heart, the urgency, whatever, all that drama that was happening in previous weeks. It seemed to fix itself this week after the victory. We had another great locker room scene. They got another victory Monday. And the players are having fun. Here's the difference from my perspective from a couple of weeks ago. After Derek Carr cried, showed his emotions, and the team did all of that stuff, last week, they got a big victory, okay? They were able to exhale. It was a Band-Aid game. It's like it soothed our problems, and it's going to start to heal. This week, in the game, even when we were down by 7 points at 1 point or 2 points, Derek Carr was on the field smiling. He was on the sideline filmed, smiling, laughing. Josh McDaniels at times as well was like giving praise. He was also yelling at other times, but that's fine. But the truth in all of that is that they were having fun. But getting down by 7 or 10 points or giving up an interception or two, they just let it go. Ah, damn, I did an interception. We'll get them back. And then they were able to make plays. They were having fun on the field, and they had a belief. Because every time they did something wrong, they had a belief that they can make another big play. And a lot of that's credit to Josh Jacobs running his ass off. They didn't even think he was going to play in the game. They didn't know. But they were exhaling during the game instead of beating themselves up. So that's what propelled us in the end to also get the big victory. Derek Carr with the comeback, trying to get in field goal range for the 56 or 57 yarder that he missed. But, there were the big play to Foster Moreau to tie the game up. Even after Foster dropped a pass or two, the team was having fun, and they had an internal belief that because they got a walk-off last week in overtime, that they could be in this game no matter what as well. And it all came together. The true greatness of this year's Raiders started this week. I don't mean that we're going to win every game moving forward, but we are done beating ourselves up, and we are on the comeback. We're definitely going to win 2 or 3 more games moving forward. And what this does as well for Josh McDaniels, look in the post-game press conferences, a lot of tension of him being the fuck-up again is disappearing. It's all still there. People might still not like him, but the truth is, he's learning how to coach. We're witnessing it right now with this game. Watch that entire game, and whenever they show Josh McDaniels on the sideline, on 4th down, there was like a couple of 4th down and 1, 4th down and 2, in field goal range, whatever. And you could see him, there might have been a timeout or something right before, and he's like, should I go for it? Because in previous weeks, remember, he was doing the razzle-dazzles. He was going for it on 4th and 3. He was fake punting, doing all this ridiculous shit that doesn't need to be done. Play traditional football. This week, He was doing that in his head on the sidelines. He was like, oh shit, it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2. We're in field goal range. We're down by 7. Should I go for it? And then he's like, no. Bring out the field goal unit. Bring out the field goal unit. And he made smarter decisions at key moments in today's or yesterday's game. So when it works out and then he gets the victory in the end and we were able to tie the game up by him calling the play, there was a point where they thought he should have went for it on 4th and 2. It was like 3rd and 2. Then they ran it with Josh Jacobs and he got stuffed. Then it was like 4th and 1.5. They were at the 50-yard line. But he decided to punt the ball. But at that point, again, in my opinion, at that moment, if you guys can remember the play, I was like, man, you ran the ball with Josh Jacobs 3 times in a row to get 2 yards and you didn't. But you've been letting Derek Carr throw the ball all day and he's doing pretty decent. If you're going to go for it, but what he did was he ran the ball with Josh Jacobs again and he got stuffed and they got the ball like at the 45 or 50-yard line. But if you're going to have faith in Josh Jacobs 3 or 4 times on 4th down, show some faith in Derek Carr. If you're going to go for it. But there was a couple of instances like that where he made some weird decisions with timeouts, going for it like on 3rd down and 3 run plays in a row, blah, blah, blah. But there was other instances where he could have fucked up again just as much, but he decided, I'm going to kick the field goal. I'm going to punt the ball. I'm not going to call any razzle-dazzle plays. We're just going to play football. And you could see him weighing those decisions on his head on the sidelines. He was battling his own ego. But his head and the goodness of playing football prevailed in yesterday's game. He was learning how to be a coach. Okay? That's why the players respected him. They're not questioning the play calling right now that I know of, as they were in weeks past. The players were losing respect for McDaniels because he was doing everything that's not traditional football. He was making plays based off of his ego. He was going for it on situations where you don't need to. Or he was not going for it when you need to. Whatever the case is, Josh McDaniels is feeling it now. He's learning how to win. The players are getting it done as well. They know how to win, but they don't know how to win with Josh McDaniels. This week proved it. They learned how to win with Josh McDaniels. And Josh McDaniels learned how to battle his own ego and calm down and be that much better of a coach. He's given 2 victory Mondays in a row for a coach from the Bill Belichick system. We know he's a hard ass. He's given 2 victory Mondays in a row. He's smiling in the locker room. That's a clear contrast to his time in Denver. We have a complete opposite, a reversal of karma and the fortune of his time in Denver. He got the team. He had a big-ass ego. Went in there saying he can make every high school quarterback an all-pro in the NFL. He got Tim drafted, moved up in the draft, Tim Tebow, blah, 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 blah. He won like 6 or 7 games in a row. So his already ego got higher. I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. Then he started losing games. Then the frustration from the fans came in. The frustration from the players. The frustration from the owners. Then he came back the next year, lost his first 4 games in a row. Because he didn't change. Everything was the same old shit. He didn't get a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. He had a big-ass ego, so they fired his ass. Then he went back to New England, starts winning again, gets a little bit of an ego, thinks he wants to be a head coach. Indianapolis offer him the job. He takes it. Then he goes, you know what? I ain't fucking ready. I'm going to fuck it up. They don't really have a quarterback. I'm not going to go to Indy. So he fucked up that deal, went back to fucking New England. Then when the Raiders job came around, I truly believe He knew he had a good quarterback in Carr to at least start the year with. He wanted to test out Carr. He wanted to test out Jacobs. That's why he didn't give Jacobs the fifth-year option. That's why they gave Derek Carr a 1 year out, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He played Jacobs in the preseason. But it's a clear contrast to his time in Denver. He won the first 6, lost the rest, got fired. Now he basically lost a lot this time instead of winning as compared to Denver. He lost, all the turmoil came, and now he's battling out of it with his new humbleness, if he has any, which I believe he does. Long story short, it's the exact opposite of his time in Denver, and he's trying to build a winning culture. This victory over Seattle starts the official new Raider culture under Josh McDaniels and his system. The key components are Josh Jacobs, Davante Adams, and Derek Carr. And we need to add a few more pieces to that puzzle if we can continue to be on the same page and do this. I hope we win more games than we lose moving forward. I don't predict us going to the playoffs. We lost too much already. But I do think at one point we might be in the hunt. But our defense isn't, giving up 35, 30 points a game. Not really, really great for us. So each game, Davante has to ball out or Jacobs has to ball out. Those are really the only two players on offense. And Derek Carr doesn't really seem to spread the ball around as much as he did in years past. He seems to be, dealing with the stars. But on occasion, he gets the ball to Hollins or Moreau. I just hope in a couple weeks, Waller and Renfro are able to play, want to play. And then maybe with the final 3 or 4 games of the season, we could see them all on the field together, building upon what they did in Seattle and in previous weeks. Building the legacy for the Raiders' future with Josh McDaniels. If they can do that, if they can win more than they lose, then the controversy of Derek Carr not being the quarterback might disappear. They're going to have to figure out a way to pay Josh Jacobs if he wants to come back. A lot of questions to be answered this offseason. But we're not there yet. Stay tuned to this channel. We'll probably go into a lot of those videos coming up. But for now, my quick game review. What a fantastic day to be a Raider. What a great game. I don't like the fact that we had to win it in overtime twice. Derek Carr is the winningest quarterback in the past 10 years or something in overtime, even over Tom Brady and whoever else. And our team gained momentum and official pride back this week. I'm proud of Josh McDaniels for battling his own demons, and he's looking like he's trying to understand what type of coach he is. He wanted to be the hard-ass coach with Denver. It didn't work out. Then he tried to remove his ego this year, but it kind of started again with the play calling. Then the team and the fans are turning on him, and he probably had to humble himself again real quick. So this week, he was battling with his ego to try to do the right things. And now that we've won a couple, he's like, okay, I think I understand how to treat the players. I think I'm figuring it out week by week. So when he told everybody we need to learn how to win, as I've said before, he was speaking to himself. Because the Raiders learned how to win last year through adversity. The adversity this year, not only injuries, the adversity this year for the Raiders was Josh McDaniels and the new staff. And now the Raiders are learning how to win through that adversity. And Josh McDaniels is learning how to win with a good Raider team. All in all, it was a great game. Looking forward to next week. I think we play the LA Chokers. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They got a big victory in overtime. They went for 2 in the end and they won. Can we have 3 overtime games in a row? We might. Last time we played the Chokers in overtime, we went to the playoffs. Remember that last year? Did we play them this year already? We probably have. Forgetting. Long story short, man, what a great day. What a great week for the Raiders. They're showing their pride, their poise. They're learning how to win. Josh McDaniels is starting to figure things out and becoming the coach that he should have been in week 1. He's still not off the hot sheet, nor Derek Carr. But a lot of questions are going to need to be answered this offseason. And starting from right now, Josh McDaniels needs to make all the correct personnel decisions. We still need a fucking defense. We still might want to get a different defensive coordinator. Yeah. But it was good to get a victory. I'm Mikey Raider. Stay tuned to this channel. Maybe I'll have a Raider football talk on Friday, depending on my health. For now, I hope this video finds you all in good blessings. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. And it's good to be a Raider. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care of you and your family. And I'll see you on the next video. Let me know your thoughts on this week's game. Did we solve all of our issues? Is Josh McDaniels no longer on the hot seat? Should we still go after a college quarterback in next year's draft? Should we tank? It's up to you to make up those decisions. So if you want me to answer them real quickly, I'll save it for my next Raider football talk. I love you guys. Blessings.